Welcome to today's yoga practice. My name is Ashley and I'm going to be doing a Trimester 1 prenatal yoga slow flow class. And before we get started, I want to say that this is my own practice that I'm talking through. I am not officially or technically a prenatal yoga teacher, although I have been a yoga teacher for many years, but I am currently pregnant. So it's something that I've wanted to try, and it's something that I actually got from someone who is an expert, the creators of this yoga deck of cards, the prenatal yoga cards, which are brand new, and I encourage anyone to check them out. So if you are going to follow along in this slow flow practice, make sure you talk with your doctor or your midwife to make sure that this is okay. And I'll be talking a little bit about the sequence that came in this deck for the slow flow for trimester 1, and I'll show it to you as well. So here we go. If you have a yoga mat, awesome, lay that out. The other props that we're gonna need for this is maybe a bolster, and for sure some blocks. So some blocks and a bolster or a pillow. A bolster is just like a really firm pillow. And then a couple of blocks that can help you if you need a little assistance to get your hands closer to the floor in some of these poses. So today's practice is a slow flow. We're going to accept nature's changes and let go of control. And not only are you going to find the poses in here, but you're also going to find a guided meditation and some affirmations, as well as a booklet that walks you through the different variations and modifications for each trimester. So this slow flow is meant to bring a relaxed and open feeling to your body and your mind. It's going to open and loosen up your lower body and your upper body, and then open your hips as you continue. So lower body, upper body, pretty much all of the body. And it's a quick, gentle, slow flow. So this isn't going to take very long at all. So if you did this a couple times a week, it would just help to revitalize, refresh, and relax your body and mind. So a couple tips: allow yourself to be present as you move through the sequence, and make sure that you're observing your thoughts as they arise, and allow them to settle too. Allow yourself to feel into these changes. If you're a beginner doing new to yoga practice, try not to rush. Take your time with each pose. And the great thing about these cards is you can lay them out like I did here and look at them yourself and take as much time as you need, or add repetitions or skip something. So it's really easy to adjust. And if you're intermediate, if you've practiced yoga for a while, try to bring awareness to your regular practice and go about 70 to 80% of your normal. This is not a time to push yourself or try to make any gains of any kind. So instead, we're bringing it back just a little bit. And of course, if you feel nauseous, we're going to skip downward facing dog or any kind of deeper inversions. All right? So let's move on to the actual practice of it. So I've got my blocks, got my bolster, and the first thing that we're going to do is start in a hero pose. And if you have one of these, or you can use your block, we're going to sit right on it. So put it between your legs, and I'll face you for now. I think this would be fine. So you can also sit on a block, or just sit somewhere comfortable where you feel a little bit more open. This is where we take a moment to find that presence, to breathe in to the space of your lungs and down into your belly. Give some breath to your baby, some life-giving energy. And you still might be feeling a little bit nauseous or not so great in this first trimester. Allow that to be there and simply notice what is coming up. So rest your hands gently on your legs, sit up nice and tall, and take one more deep breath. In and out through your nose. Let that breath flow, and let that breath be your guide. Let's take the head and look over the right shoulder, back to the center, and look over the left shoulder, back to the center. Time for some shoulder rolls. Take your hands onto your shoulders. Elbows go forward, up, back, and down. We'll just do 3 each direction. And I'm not going to do a lot of repetitions or a lot of holding in this practice. I'm simply going through each pose one at a time, switch directions. So this would be a good opportunity to play with these yoga cards, lay them out, get this deck of cards. It's pretty awesome. There's a lot of information on each one. And play with it yourself. Maybe go longer or shorter. Okay, bring your hands back down. Feeling pretty good. Let's make our way to tabletop position. So getting rid of the bolster for now. Walk the hands forward. Step over as needed. We might come back to that bolster or the block soon. Tabletop pose is hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, where we press into the earth with those fingertips and the knees. Arch the back and look up. Round your back and look down. Now during first trimester, my experience has been that my body is still able to do a lot of the things I was able to do prior to pregnancy. However, I'm just feeling more tired, more drained, a little more sick. And it's a different kind of, physical sensation. So not a lot of physical body changes yet, but definitely the insides, the internal feeling it. So make it gentle, keep it slow. Okay, bring it back to neutral, then rise up onto your knees. If it helps, you can roll up your mat a little bit for a little bit of cushion. I'm going to use my blocks for this, placing the blocks back a little bit behind my knees, near my calves. First one, take the hands on the hips, roll the shoulders back, and look up. Take a deep breath in camel pose. This is a modified camel pose. Keep the hips above the knees, chest opening and focusing on that squeeze between the shoulders. And then lift back up. We can sit down for a moment. We can try one version with the blocks or a bolster behind you. There's actually 2 versions on this card. So let's lift back up. Now, if you have a bolster, you can put it between the legs and press there. Or these blocks, if you're feeling okay with going a little deeper, blocks are next to the ankles or the calves. Take one hand to a block, other hand to the block. We're not going too far. I'm just going to go fingertips and try to lift the heart forward and up like someone's pulling a string from your chest. But you're keeping your core, your abs drawn in. Nice tight core. Or stay with the hands on the hips version. One more deep breath. And then we sit back down, lift back up, straighten up first, and lower back down. Now I'll keep one of my blocks and actually sit on it as the example of we kind of did that with the bolster. If you want to come back to the bolster, that would be awesome. Now with pregnancy and all the trimesters, we're never going to deeply twist because we don't want to restrict the blood flow to our belly. So instead we do more of an open twist. So keep your right hand on your knee, same hand. Take the other hand towards your back, behind you, towards your feet. An open twist, focusing more on chest opening. Look back past the shoulder. And then switch sides. As you inhale, left hand to the knee or opposite hand to the same knee. Same hand, same knee, open to the other side. So anytime you're in a regular yoga class, my recommendation for any twist is to do the more open version, oftentimes rotating the opposite direction, and then bring it back to the center. Okay, now we have a little hip series, all right? So we did some upper body, just a little bit. Let's hit up a hip series with the legs and lower body. Bring it back to hands and knees. You can place the blocks at the front of your mat. You'll need them for a pose we'll do later on. And the first thing is choose a leg. I'm going to go left leg back, but you can choose whichever leg. Extend it back, bend the knee, add some hip circles, kind of like our shoulder circles, except this time one leg at a time. 3 external, 3 internal, do the other direction. This is warming up the hips, heating them up so our stretches feel a little bit better. Okay, now hold it. Extend the legs straight back. We can hold in this variation right here, hands stay on the ground, press into the ground, pull that belly up and in, strong core, or take that opposite hand and reach it forward. Pause. Look down just beyond the fingertips in front of you. One more big breath. And then place just the hand down. Place the back foot in a line with the opposite foot. Foot, knee, hand, all in a line. We'll kickstand that bottom, that knee, the leg that is down, that's the knee, kickstand it. Then open up to the side for modified side plank with an extension. Reach long, feel that side bend. Look up if that helps or if that feels okay. From that modified side bend on the knee, lift the hand back up, roll it back to the hands and knees, and take that hand that was just lifted, thread the needle through and down so the shoulder's down, but not focus too deep on the twist. Instead, it's more of a shoulder stretch. Just a few breaths in each pose is what we need. Take that hand that's basing or pressing down and press a little bit more as you rise back up, reach up. And bring the hand back down to the floor. Walk both hands forward. Keep the hips above the knees for puppy pose. Melt the heart down. Chest opening. And then to crawl back out of this, shift back just slightly, walk the hands back. We have the other side. Take the opposite leg, reach it back, bend the knee, hip circles. Switch directions. And then extend the leg straight back, working in that core strength. These are great. Anything with plank is a great sort of way to work our core, our abdominal muscles, as the other poses become not so great, like boat pose or crunches. We want to avoid those. Let's take the opposite hand forward as an option. Hold, and even this, you feel a little bit of shakiness. Maybe you shift forward just a little bit. Yes, it's a gentle, slow flow, but we can still feel sensation and strength. Then take the hand down. Extend the back foot, place it down in a straight line. You'll kickstand the knee that's down, kickstand that leg, and open up. Opposite hand reaches up, modifying that side plank, kneeling. Extend the arm, look up. Same thing that we did on the other side. Side bends are going to be some of our best friends for stretches, for easing back pain. And then reach the hand back up to the top. Roll down to the hands and knees, but take that upper hand and slide it underneath for the thread the needle pose. Again, more of the shoulder stretch, not trying to get too deep in the twist itself. Use that basing hand to press into the ground. Lift back up. You might even do another reach. Place the hand back down, and we'll take it back to our puppy pose. Melt the heart down. Reach the hands forward and press into the pinky fingers. Good. Go ahead and slide your hips back into child's pose. You might need to widen the feet or widen the knees a little bit and slide to sink and sit back. Remember that I said those side bends felt really good. Let's add more side bends here. Walk the hands over to the right side off of your mat, taking the left hand on top of the right or the inside hand on top of the outside, lower down. Switch sides, walk the hands gently over to the other side of the mat. Take the inside hand on top of the outside hand, press down. Try to get the forehead to touch the floor. And then back to the center, walk it forward. shift forward. We actually don't have any downward facing dogs in this practice. A lot of it's much lower. We don't come up to standing. So next up is our lunge series, but it's low, more stretches. Extend or lift. Let's start with the right leg, okay? Extend the right leg. You can bend the knee. A great way to get into a lunge is to do that hip circle and then place the right foot where the right hand is. Replace or step to the outside. Step to the outside of the hand, walk the hands to the inside. Here we are in a 90 degree lunge. If possible, tuck the back toes and take that knee farther back. This is where the blocks are helpful. You can create a base right here. Create a base where the floor is a little higher because we're using blocks, or we can come onto the forearms. Any level of the blocks is fine. Keep that knee, the knee that's bent, the one in front, hugging close to you. Okay, it's a lizard lunge. If you do want to lift the knee, that's a intensification, but we can keep it low today. It's more so for the stretch. Breathe deeply into this posture. And then coming back out of it, I'm going to keep one of the blocks and slide it underneath just next to my knee or underneath my right hip. Other block goes away. Heel toe the right foot across the mat. And you can take your right hip and sit right on that block. So this is a way to modify pigeon pose. If you know you are comfortable without the block or anything underneath the thigh, the hip here, this right leg, go ahead and take it and release it out. But just to make this more gentle, I'm going to keep the block underneath. You could also use a towel, a blanket, or bolster. Then we melt it down into a forearm pigeon pose. And this is one where I'd say stay here as long as you want. For the sake of this demonstration, this video, we're not going to stay here too terribly long. But this is one where if you were playing with these cards and you saw this sequence, you could just chill and hang out here for a while. Okay, let's lift it back up. Now to get into half splits from here, it's going to be, let's see, a little bit challenging. It's an interesting transition. It takes some time. Tuck the back toes. Take that knee a little more forward. Keep scooching it in. We lift the foot again, a heel toe to the front of the mat. Now that's somewhat of a difficult transition to go from lunge to pigeon back to our lunge, but we did it. So let's take the hands back to the blocks where they came from and start to extend the front leg straight. So you can either sit back and walk the blocks back or kick that right foot forward, maybe out to the side or out just slightly out to the side, just in front of you comfortably. Half splits. You want to feel this hamstring stretch in that front leg. And we're going to wait for our bound angle pose until we finish both sides. So from here, bend that right knee again, heel toe the right foot out to the side and place it back to the ground. Let's go ahead and keep the blocks as they are in front of us. Maybe move them a little more to the right. Extend the left leg, bend the knee. Bring that leg around, placing the foot to the outside of the hands. Lizard lunge. So we keep the hands next to the feet, next to the foot, in line with the arch of the foot. So we're not shifting forward, really keeping this 90-degree angle. And if this is a good place, stay here. Or we can extend the back leg and possibility to bring the forearms down to the blocks. Keep hugging in with that knee that's bent. These are definitely poses you want to slow down in, to feel a little bit more. Okay, and slowly start to rise back up to the hands. I'm going to take my block now underneath where my left hip is going to go. Other block goes to the side for now. Heel toe the left foot across. Place the thigh down, the leg on upper leg onto the block, Again, if it feels okay to square up the hips and get into this pose without a prop, more power to you. Go ahead. If you have kind of more open hips. Now we can stay here upright if you're already feeling the sensation. Keep reaching through the back toes and or melt it down a little bit further onto the forearms. Take 2 more deep breaths. Good. And rising back up. Now we have to get back into that lunge. So tuck the back toes, scooch the back knee a little farther, rolling back onto the foot, heel toe the foot to the side. Now, if I were doing this sequence without following the cards, I might do some different kinds of transitions, but we'll work with what we've got. Take the blocks back to the inside of the foot. Extend that front leg or start to sit back into our half splits. And you might find yourself up here. It really just depends on your flexibility, your range of motion. I've got a little bit more openness in my body, so I can come down a little bit further. But that's where you're checking in with yourself. Okay, and rebend that front knee. Take those blocks away, place the hands down, and bring the left foot around. Knee goes back down, we're back on our hands and knees. Finishing up with our last few poses, cross the ankles and sit back or swing the legs around. I'm going to take the feet together, knees apart for bound angle. After a pigeon pose and after what we just did, it's nice to do a complement from the hip opening, and that way, change it up to this way. So grab onto the feet, or if you're feeling kind of tight, take the hands behind you and sit up tall. If you hold onto the feet, hug the elbows in and start to lean forward. So the option also is to take the feet a little more farther forward and just create more of a relaxing fold. If you bring the feet closer to you, it's going to create more hip opening. Neither one is right or wrong, better or worse. It's just different options for you based on what you need, your intentions for the day. Okay, sit back up. Take those legs wide. Anytime you want blocks, you can have them. You can take them, use them. But if you've got these feet wide, you can sit tall and possibly crawl the hands forward. Crawl the hands forward into a wide leg forward fold. How wide your legs are, up to you. It's actually more challenging for me to take the legs closer because my hips are pretty open. I feel this more in the hamstrings. With my legs wider, for me, it's a little easier to get lower. However, take note of your own body, listen in. You may not need much forward, focusing maybe on this pelvic tilt, forward, tall spine, flat back. Keep your chest open, away from the belly, lift. And keep those legs active. Okay, back up, rise back up, bend the knees. We've got one more open twist again. So let's bring our legs straight forward where you are. Bend one of your knees and just place it to the inside. Place your foot to the inside. We're going to hug the knee, but instead of turning towards that knee, we turn away and open. So lift tall. Knee up, press into the floor. And back to the center. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. And then switch sides. Bend the other knee, hug it close to you. You can even take it more to the outside depending on your comfort level. Take the hand to the outside, look over the shoulder, and do that open twist. and then back to the center. Okay. For trimester 1, we still should have not much trouble lying on our back. That is a modification that will change later on. But for now, you still should feel pretty good lying on your back. It's not uncomfortable. Your body will tell you when it is. I remember that my first time around. There was a point, early 3rd trimester, where I just could not lie on my back anymore. But for now, we should be able to roll down, but not really roll down. We don't want to do any kind of abdominal crunches. So we're going to slide on our side and roll to the back. And if at this point, when we do our meditation or shavasana, you want to push pause or grab the yoga card that has the QR code, go to the website to listen to the guided meditation. It's so good. It's 18 minutes long. I recommend you do that. Or the 2 minutes of affirmations for trimester 1. So you can pull those cards out before your practice and take a look at those. We are heading into a legs up the wall pose, so hopefully you have a wall. If you don't, if you want to take your legs on a bolster or bend the knees or stay sort of like this, that's awesome. If you have a wall, I recommend you bump yourself right up next to it, waterfall the legs, and turn the body. So we're in this legs up the wall position. This is going to help with circulation, especially as we do start to gain a few more pounds. Your body is feeling different kinds of ways where if you're on your feet a lot, it could be nice to get that circulation through the body again, draining the feet, and it feels very relaxing. So legs up the wall can be done with a blanket under your back. It can be done against a counter or against the wall. During our legs up the wall, I'm going to mention just a few of the affirmations that are available from the prenatal yoga cards for 1st trimester. So you can repeat these after me. My body is healthy and strong and can support the development of new life within me. I let go of controlling situations and people in my life. I allow myself to surrender. I allow myself to accept my baby inside me. I gratefully accept consistent changes inside of me. And anything else that comes to mind for you that creates positivity, keep that with you. Now you are welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. If you're ready to move throughout the rest of your day and start to bring the legs down to the side, roll to your left side, usually, left side, and use your top hand to press yourself back up. Sitting up tall in a comfortable position, this is where we say farewell. And just a reminder about these prenatal yoga cards. If you are interested in learning more about them or checking them out, make sure to go to WorkoutLabs.shop and use the code ASHESYOGA for 10% off. So I'll give you a little discount there. But it was so much fun to walk you through this practice, or lead you or guide myself, and maybe you're following along. I hope you got some tips and some good information and feel a little bit better now after going through this. Good luck with the rest of your own pregnancy journey. I know it's going to be amazing because you're searching and finding things like this, just what we all need. So we can take our hands, if you're still with me, take your hands and reach up. Just give yourself the hands together, gratitude gesture, and bring your hands to your heart. Take another deep breath in and let it go. You are doing something good for yourself and your new baby. Congratulations, and I hope to see you in another video very soon. Namaste.